Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. I'm Classic Gamer, and welcome to Broken Sword, The Smoking Mirror, Remastered. Now, I've never actually played through the whole of this game. I know it's different. I know there's no new bits like there were in the Shadow of the Templars, but we're going to go through it anyway. And first, I'm just going to turn down the music, as it might be a bit too loud and you may not be able to hear me. So let's just turn down that. Turn that up a bit. Okay, so that should be enough, right? This game is obviously the remastered version, as I said, and you may not see that I've got a continue here, but we're not going to go from that. We're in fact going to start a new game. Now, there's a new bit at the beginning that wasn't in the original that explains what Nico was doing before George got back to Paris after the death of his father, as obviously you all know. So let's make a start. I'll keep quiet during this, so just sit back and enjoy. And I'll be back with you when the game starts.
This must be the place. Professor OUBIER'S house.
Looks pretty creepy. I'd been away from Paris and hadn't seen Nico for nearly 6 months. I wanted to celebrate our reunion, but she had other plans. An appointment with an archaeologist. Something to do with a Mayan stone she came across while researching a story. The guy who answered the door didn't look much like an archaeologist to me. I had a bad feeling about this.
Right, of course, what I thought was going to happen isn't going to happen. So, let's just... So, that obviously, the bit that explains the bit before the game started, I don't think I can get to after I complete the game. Whereas on the Android version, it's available, I think, from the beginning. It might be available next time I start the game. If it is, then I'll introduce that bit to you as a bit of an extra sort of like... Well, it's nice to say that. So let's go back and have a look at what our predicament is.
There were only 3 things I didn't like about spiders. The way they looked, the way they moved, and the fact that they lived on the same planet as me. This spider was big, mean, and hairy, and definitely not a native of Europe. I glanced over the books, vaguely hoping to find a copy of How to Deal with Poisonous Spiders While Tied to a Chair. No such luck. But I noticed one corner of the bookcase was supported by a loose block of wood. The block of wood had been used to replace the original foot of the bookcase.
So, kick the block of wood out.
Maybe I'd been a little heavy-handed, but it was a question of survival. Of course, I was still tied to a chair in a burning house with no means of escape. Yellow pus was seeping from below the bookcase. That spider was very squashed. I wasn't touching that spider goo. The bookcase had been anchored to the wall by a protruding metal bracket. It had sheared off as the bookcase had fallen, leaving a jagged edge. With one mighty bound, our hero was free. Now, I had to deal with that fire. The projecting bracket had served its purpose. There was nothing else I could do with it. I had no time to sit around. It was the chair I'd been tied to. The rope was shredded and no possible use to me. Even if I had the time, I wouldn't be able to get to the books beneath the heavy case. The bookcase had fallen on its front, making it impossible to reach the books inside.
Now, as with the first game, I won't be talking very much during the talking bits, but during these bits I will be examining various things, trying to examine everything, try and show and ask everyone everything I've got and stuff like that. So, let's have a look.
It was a needle-sharp dart with a flight of green and yellow feathers.
That's the difference on this one. You can actually look at the stuff that you're going to pick up before you pick it up.
That dart was sharper than a mosquito's business end, but this didn't deter me from getting it anyway. It was Nico's bag. It was a stylish little canvas number containing a lipstick, a handwritten note, and a pair of nylon panties with a large love heart emblazoned across the front. It occurred to me that Nico's tastes must have really changed while I was away. Well, they could be useful. It was Nico's lipstick. It wasn't my color, and it reminded me of clowns. It was the poisoned dart which had stunned Nico. I'd never known anything keep her quiet so effectively. I guess I had no business reading the note, but I figured it might give me a clue to what Nico was involved in. It was from André Labanau, the history student Nico had known at college. The letter was sentimental mush, and revealed that the exotic lingerie, as he called it, was a gift from him. It gave his telephone number. Labanau figured himself as a rival for Nico's affections, but I couldn't believe that that creep was in the running. It was the letter to Nico from that creep Labanau. Sickening. It was a pair of red, lace-trimmed panties decorated with a large black satin heart.
Okay.
The bureau had a sliding lid. It was a closed drawer. In the drawer was a small decorated pot. There was nothing else in the drawer. Inside, I found a bottle of tequila. It was a half bottle of extra strong Mexican tequila. Just what I needed under the circumstances. Normally, I didn't drink strong spirits, but today was far from normal. Ew. Disgusting. Not only did the tequila burn like hell, I just managed to stop myself from swallowing the worm. I'd drunk enough of that. What looked like a little shriveled wiener lay on the carpet. Thankfully, it was only the worm from the tequila bottle. Well, I wasn't going to eat it, but life had taught me one thing. No matter how unlikely it seems, the strangest objects have their uses. Even tequila worms. Oubier and his wife, I guess. Nice couple. The photograph wasn't any use to me. The bars attached to the window would prevent anyone getting in. They also stopped me from getting out. I wasn't going to get through those sturdy bars. I wasn't going anywhere through that window. This window had bars too. The room was a prison. I wasn't going to get through those sturdy bars. I wasn't going to get through those sturdy bars. I looked up and down the street, hoping to attract the attention of a passerby. There was no one in sight. It was the box that spider had crawled from. I wasn't going to touch the box after that spider had been inside it. It was a soda fountain, perfect for mixing with drinks or squirting at clowns. There was no pressure in the siphon. I guess it was out of gas.
Right, okay, so we're going to get to the bit before you leave the house, and then we're going to call this a video. As always, I'll be doing sessions, so I'll be trying to do a session up until probably the end of Marseille, and then start my other Let's Play and see where that gets me. Or I might just continue until, like with Broken Sword 1.
In the cabinet's wooden door was a very small keyhole. The cabinet was locked. The fire had taken hold and ignited part of the polished wooden floorboards. I racked my brains to think of a way to improvise a fire extinguisher. If only I'd stopped for a coffee at the airport. The door blocked my only means of escape. The door blocked my...
Okay, so if you use this one here,
as I released the lock, something blew the doors open. Inside the cabinet was a small metal object, round at one end with a valve at the other. The cabinet was already open. It was a small metal cylinder. That cylinder was hot. I couldn't pick it up with my bare hands. That cylinder was hot. I couldn't pick it up with my bare hands.
okay, so use the panties.
The panties I'd found in Nico's bag were just what I needed to wrap around the hot cylinder. The cabinet contained what looked like a burst cylinder. It was a soda fountain, perfect for mixing with drinks or squirting at clowns. It was a small metal cylinder with a valve at one end. The cylinder gave out a faint hiss as the valve opened. Now I had one primed up and ready to use extinguisher. With a well-aimed squirt of his soda fountain, our unshakable hero saved the day. Now it was time to start looking for Nico. It was a soda fountain. The door blocked. I wasn't going to burn myself on that red-hot doorknob, and it wasn't the time for subtlety. The doorway led to the stairs in the entrance hall.
Okay, so we're out of the first room, so let's give Lobino a call.
Much as I disliked him, Lobino might be my only hope of finding Nico. Hi, Andre?
Who is this?
It's George Stobart, Nico's boyfriend.
Don't you mean ex-boyfriend?
Look, I didn't call you just to pick a fight. I need to talk to you about Nico.
Can't you accept she's just not interested in you?
Listen, Andre, we need to talk. Nico's life depends on it.
Okay. You remember the cafe at Montfaucon?
Sure. Andre? You'd better show, you creep. I felt an irrational urge to wipe my ear. It was a folded clipping taken from a newspaper. I'd found a piece of newspaper folded in two. It referred to a forthcoming eclipse of the sun. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be visible from Europe. The best place to view the eclipse would be Mexico. There was no one else I wanted to call. It was OUBIER'S telephone. The door led to some other part of OUBIER'S mansion. It was locked. The front door was made of hard wood, supported by a sturdy frame. The door was locked. I didn't fancy my chances of kicking this door down. The door was locked.
Okay, so this is where we're going to end this part of this session. So we'll be right back, where we'll be continuing and trying to get out of OUBIER'S mansion. So stay with me and I'll be back very soon.